What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another exciting episode of That's Random Podcast. I am your host, that guy, the one and only Nerdy G. This is the podcast where we take a little time to explore the extraordinary and ordinary. Today is no different. Listen, if this is your first time here, welcome. The best thing that you can do to help us out, to help this network keep growing, is like, subscribe, share. Not only here on YouTube or wherever you're listening at on any DSPs, but also slide on over to Patreon. And when I say slide on over to Patreon, slide on over to Patreon. Yes, Patreon. Nerdy's Umbrella at Patreon or Patreon patreon.com/Nerdy's Umbrella. Get the Red Cup episodes, get the Brunch Chicks episodes, and a bunch of other content of unreleased shows, podcasts, and moments with nerdies, and a bunch of other fun things over there too. So let's keep it pushing and let's get to today's topic. Listen, we're back in the middle of our 12-part series, right? Which is out. Well, not all of it is out, but we're in the process of putting all of it out. But what I do is at this point in time, I'm breaking it up. So you'll get four episodes where it's straight up about this entrepreneurship, this journey, business thought process, mind process, right? You'll get that, and then we're going to break it, and then we're going to have some of that silly randomness that this podcast loves to do. Once we're finished with this series, it'll be clipped together on the YouTube in one playlist, and then also the same thing on Patreon, so that if you just want to hear those episodes and get an understanding, you will see those collectively together versus just going and trying to figure out which episode is which. I'll have that in there for you guys. Okay. Today, hopefully you clicked on this. You clicked on the thumbnail, you saw the title, and you was like, you know what? This is worth the listen. And it is going to be worth the listen, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you this right now. It's going to be worth the listen. And the reason why I'm telling you this is the whole thought process of social media. Is it hurting us or is it helping us? Because think about your business and what it is that you do today. Think about how much social media is in your life, whether you know it or not. If you are an entrepreneur, social media is going to take up about 2 to 3 hours of your day, maybe more for some of you guys, right? And that's where a team comes in. And when I say a team comes in, you're going to need a team to manage your social media. I'm telling you this from experience. Social media, in my opinion, is a full-time job, right? And let's think about this and why I'm saying this. There's TikTok, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's Reddit, there's Tumblr, who some people still post over there, right? And then there's some other sites, lesser known sites, where you can get your information out there, get your product out there, get people. We're talking Patreon, we're talking Spill Tea. There is more limit if you jumped on that. What's the other one? Threads. There's places where you want to be to get your content out there and everybody to see it. You want as many eyes on you as possible. Whether you're streaming, whether you're doing podcast shows, whether you're putting together information, or whether you're putting together classes, you have to navigate through all of these platforms to see where you're going to find your audience at, because all of your audience is not just going to be necessarily typically in one place. You have to go search for that place and bring them in, right? And you have to keep them entertained, and you have to keep them locked in. So my deal is this. When it comes to saying, is social media helping us or is it hurting us? It depends. And it depends on you and how you use it. See, I haven't technically used social media personally. And what I mean by that, I haven't used it personally. I haven't had a time to go on and, create something just for me, or the word is doom scroll, right? I haven't had time to go doom scroll, right? There are applications out there, you know what I'm saying? Opus, if you look in the description, there's a link to help me out, you know what I'm saying? That I use to post all the clips that you guys see come out over several platforms, right? I do that for the reason of letting you guys know, like, hey, this is how I work my social media. I can't sit there and create all of these posts and all of these clips and then go to TikTok, go to Instagram, go to Facebook, go to this. And I know on Facebook, they, in your Meta Business Suite, you can go in there and you can schedule them out. You can schedule them out for 30 days. You can schedule them out for your Instagram profile and your Facebook profile. But that's very, very time consuming. When I used to do it that way, it literally, to schedule out for an entire month, that was probably about a 5.5 hour day for me, because you got to come up with the captions. You got to make sure, that it lines up with the content that you're putting out. So for me, I have a set time, podcast, da 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 da. You have to make sure that you stay in line. You have to stay organized. Once I do that, it's 5.5 hours on a day. Yeah, I did that once a month, but that just took care of Facebook and Instagram. Now, what if I wanted to do TikTok? TikTok only allows you to do, I want to believe it's a week and a half or a week out or something like that. I think it's like a week and a half out that you can do just out and schedule these posts. That is very time consuming, because that's one that you have to continue to revisit. Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Elon's playground. That one allows you to do up to a month. It allows you to do up to a month, but there's limitations on that. So staying organized, your 5.5 hour day for that, it's like, let me get all my stuff together. Let me come over here. Let me clip it out. Let me do what I need to do. Go back, do it again. And very time consuming. Back to the doom scrolling. I haven't been able to doom scroll in some months. Going online technically is not part of my day. Even though the presence is there, it's not part of my day. If I stopped to get on social media personally to see what's going on, to see what is what, I myself would lose 2 or 3 hours of Nerdy's umbrella work, because that's how good the algorithms can be, and that's how they tie you in. You know, it's like when you're walking into Walmart and the next thing you know, damn, I was only coming here for some bread, and I done been in here for 2 hours. It's crazy how that happens. That is social media. Social media will drag you in, and you will doom scrolling. 3, 4, 5 hours would be done past, and you're thinking to yourself as an entrepreneur, damn, I didn't post anything. I didn't look at my content. I've been on looking at everybody else stuff. Now, the big thing is, what did you remember from that? Those 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it was, however long you spent doom scrolling. What did you remember? What stood out? Did you take notes? Did you see where you can do something for your content creation? Did it help? 9 times, I'm gonna say 7 times out of 10, the answer is gonna be no. Because it comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. Even the way that we respond and we talk to people now, we talk to them as if we're talking to them, or we're replying to them as a clip. I see you, TikTok. I see you doing that. That's the thing on TikTok. You can post a clip. somebody can reply to your clip with the quick face message for everybody to see. Crazy work. Because now it's going to be like, boom, let me talk what I want to say. Let me put my face on here. And just to let you know, that's going to be a way that some people come up off of other creators in the future. Now, could that be helpful? Yes. But then that's going to invite all the trolls, and then you're going to get a different level of you're going to get a different kind of trolling. That's one. But two, you're going to get a different kind of subdivision of social media that's going to come out, and it's going to look a little weird. It's going to look a little strange, right? Because in this time that we're in right now, social media, I didn't even mention Twitch, Kick, Rumble, those live streaming platforms, right? I haven't even mentioned those, but there's only so many people in the world, and how do you captivate and grab the attention of the people who you want watching you? Because just as many of us that are sitting there and doom scrolling, there's probably there's more than a handful of us out here actually trying to create the content that people can see, that people can watch. But how do you dig yourself out of the bottom of the barrel? Back in the day, I did a whole deep dive on like how it is in corporate America. You know, you come in entry level, it's 500 people trying to get to the next level. How do you make yourself stand out in that group of 500? Then once you move to the next level, say you move up to supervisor, or you move up to a team lead. Out of those team leads, out of that however many number, how do you make yourself stand out without alienating those people? Then you move up to your supervisor position, and so forth, right? It's the same way in the content world. How do you make yourself stand out? We all know that society puts one person on at a time. We all focus on this one person at a time. Remember, your biggest streamer, Kai Cenat, is part of a group called AMP. But he's the face. We hear his name. When he took his break, everybody was worried about him. Everybody was talking about him. AMP is still alive. Those other guys are still streaming and doing their things, but it's like there was no questions like, well, which one of the guys from AMP is going to fill in the blanks why Kai is gone away or why Kai's doing this. There was none of that. It was like, we're on to the next. There's Adrian Brody. There's Adrian Brody. There's Ben Dundana. Like, they move on to whoever else, but not nobody to come and say, oh, we're going to let this person come and take Kai's spot. Kai went to go take a break, and he's back. And what's next? How do you, even though he did his streamer university thing, how do you navigate that? How do you come out of that? How do you separate yourself? He's going to help those creators to find a way to separate themselves and make themselves bigger, to grab a bigger audience. But when there are more people who are trying to be in the spotlight and not actually be in the audience, that's where it gets a little tricky. And then when you break down demographics and everything like that, where do you find the people? Where do you find the audience? What audience tends to be on Facebook? 40 and up, maybe 35, but that's stretching it. But 40 and up is on Facebook. On Instagram, when you say do it for the Instagram, it's all for looks. It's all for looks. Are you having fun? Are you entertaining in your life? It's all for the looks. Twitter, how funny can you be in X amount of characters? Who's over there? A bunch of teenagers. A bunch of 15 to 28-year-olds. I think that's the same thing that's on TikTok. TikTok, the range is a little bit different. I think TikTok is the whole demographic, but being able to cut through over there on TikTok, it is challenging. I'll tell you that. We've heard academics speak about it. We've heard Matt Rife speak about it. We heard some others speak about how they know that they have a switch, they have a clip, they can just cut it on and cut it off. So even over there, it's like, yo, hey Nerdy, if you pay us, we'll put your content in front of people. We'll put your content in front of some of these people. And here's my deal. I always find it funny that they ask, are you looking for followers or are you just wanting to get views when you do the what they call them campaigns? I just thought that was strange. What do you mean, am I looking for followers? What is the difference between paying to get people to follow you than people to get you to view? Because my deal would be, if I pay for the views, if I ran a campaign for you to put my clip in more people's feeds, then in turn, that person's going to go to my profile, look at my profile, see what other type of content that I'm putting out, and then click whether they want to follow or not. But what is the true difference between saying, okay, well, that campaign was ran for views. Okay. Now, this campaign here is ran for followers. The followers, what is the process? Is the process not going to be the same? Are you going to put me in some places that I've never been in before, my clips, and then hopefully that these people follow? Or do you guys already have something on the back end where we know, hey, every time we put something new, this person is more likely to follow than anything else, which would give you a higher rate of probably succession versus I just want the views. If you do the followers, then maybe you can get more than, I don't know, maybe the conversion rate is 40% of people who see your content will blindly follow you, versus when you do the views, maybe anywhere between 5 to 15% people will go look at your profile, see what you like, see if they like any of your other content, and then then follow you. I always find that weird, but that's Twitter. That's TikTok. I understand if you want to make money, you got to spend money, right? In order to make money, you got to spend money, okay? I get that. That's not a problem. The way that it goes about with social media, it's a little tricky. How you're using and how you're using and utilizing your social media platforms, can they be a help in some instances? Yeah. I didn't even mention YouTube, right? Take this for example. My clips do well on YouTube. And it's like, interesting. If they're doing well on YouTube, why aren't they doing as well on Facebook and Instagram? Why would one do good on TikTok but not Instagram or Facebook? Why would one do better on one platform and not the other platform? One, true, we already know demographics. Two, we're using different type of hashtags to, pop up in people's feeds, because some people do just follow hashtags and you randomly come about. I mean, people talk about the algorithm. Some people say there are secrets. Yeah, there are secrets, because you guys who have got to the top, I know Mr. Beast not too long ago recently said something. He can start a faceless page tomorrow and have over 1 million followers within 6 months. But he said that's with the information that he knows. That means that he's talked to somebody at YouTube. That means they've given him some information that the general public doesn't have. And I understand that. You don't want the general public to have this information, because then, of course, with YouTube, then they'll be doing more payouts. But then if everybody had the secret sauce, then it doesn't make it a secret sauce. And then people, in turn, it would flatten out, because now you're stretching out everybody at that point, because if everybody's doing the exact same thing, it's going to still be harder for you to peek your head up, wiggle, and still be a standout. This is a topic that I honestly believe that I can go on and on about when it comes to, does social media help you? Does it not help you? Is it hurting us as a society? I'd say it makes everything for us faster. We want everything faster. We want to laugh faster, right? Some of these, like when I clip this up, not everybody's going to want to hear this serious talk. Not everybody's going to want to hear, oh, well, you're sounding like those. No, I'm not sounding like the other people who are offering you a solution to be better at, content creation, and they don't really give you any information. They just double talk and do all that BS, right? I'm asking thought-provoking questions, right? If I had the solutions, I would give them to you. I have no problem with that, right? Sometimes I look at this and I go, damn, like some days I think social media is harmful, and other days when the algorithm is doing its job or doing where it benefits me, where, oh, hey, this clip right here, I made $100 off this clip. I made $500 off this clip. I'm happy with social media then, right? But it's not going to be, everything that I put out is not going to be a $500 clip. Everything that I put out, I'm not going to generate $1,000. I'm not going to generate $100 from it. Being in this content creation world, there's going to be ups and downs, and you have to stomach through those. You have to find that secret sauce. You have to find out, okay, when are they changing the rules? Because they're going to change the rules. Once they start seeing people win, they're going to, it's time to change the rules because we're kicking out too much money. The whole deal is to get people here on our platform and don't leave our platform. And we want to put all the advertisers that we possibly can and make all the money that is truly fit. So there's the whole deal with the copyright strike. So it's like people are, okay, yeah, we know there's free music, but we don't want to sound like everybody else. There's certain sounds that we can use, but we don't want to sound like, it's like, well, if we can't stop them here, we'll try to stunt their growth by throwing these other things out there to make them kind of, redirect. And some people just feel like, hey, that's way too freaking much. So sometimes the social media apps themselves make it hard and discouraging. It makes it challenging and discouraging to want to keep continuing to go on just because of the way that it works. And then it's like, well, you have to find people to talk to. Then once you talk to those people and you realize, oh, these people don't really truly give a fuck, it's like, wow, okay, cool, got it, not a problem. What's the best way forward? You got to figure it out. I shout out to DDG, who has been putting out game and letting folks know and kind of help, in my opinion, kind of like just like, yo, this is the way that you do this. This is the way that the game is. Like, I love the fact that he said, him and Academics both say, listen, if you're going to be a streamer, understand that if a regular person works 160 hours a month, for y'all who are a little bit slow, that's 40 hours a week. Okay. They're telling you that you need to work anywhere between 150 and 180 as a streamer. So to be a full-time content creator and to be a streamer and to be entertaining, you have to be entertaining for an average at least 150 hours a week, 150 hours a month. Think about that. Do you have that in you? Do you have that much creativity in you? There are some of them who have surpassed that, where from what we see, we don't see them online 150 to 160 hours a month, because they have moved on and they have teams who do certain things, right? Because not only Not and I'm not saying that you have to be online 150 hours. What I'm saying is, or what they're saying is, you're going to need to put in more time, because if you don't, like everybody who's first starting out, they're not going to have a team. They're not going to have people who just clip. They're not going to have an audience who is willing to work for them and go get them certain information and all of these things. They're not going to have that to start. Nobody's going to have that to start. It takes time. Academics been streaming since 2014 or some shit like that. Okay, look how long it took Kai Cenat. Kai Cenat was not an overnight sensation. He was fucking not. He became he it took him time to get to where he's at. DDG took him time to get where he was at. It's not just like, oh, hey, I popped up one day and I just started doing this and that's what happened. No, shit takes time. And I get that too. Here, I'm working. I'm working through this, and I see that it takes time. You have to continue to be entertaining. You have to put in more hours than the average person. So, for going to get a corporate job, or just going to get a job and working 80 hours every 2 weeks, don't sound bad, but it's like, yeah, what is the payoff? There's no 401k in content creation. There's no health insurance in content creation. You get with a regular job, you get some securities, right, for your future. When you're doing content creation, it's at the beginning, it's just you and a dream. And that means countless of hours of putting work in, slapping shit at the wall to see what sticks, and building from there. I know that you guys see these guys have these lavish lives. You see them party and all of that. Yeah. How about ask them about those nights where they wanted to give up? Ask them about the nights where they didn't have an editor and they was doing all the shit themselves. Ask them how many times they fell asleep at the computer desk. Ask them how many times they fell asleep with their phone in their hand because they was getting ready to post something. How many drafts? Ask them how many draft contents do they have in their phone, because they started and then they forgot, or they fell asleep and then they forgot. So the question is, once again, is social media hurting or helping us? In some instances, it's helping us. In other instances, it's hurting us. Listen, I'm not going to keep you for a long time. I'm keeping you for a good time. Listen, this is part of my entrepreneur series. Once again, I'm your host, That Guy Nerdy G. This is Oh That's Random, the podcast. This is the podcast, of course, where we are always exploring the extraordinary and ordinary. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with me. Appreciate it 1,010%. Be sure to slide on over there to that Patreon, Nerdy's Umbrella. And then, of course, if you just want to support, like, subscribe, and share, okay, on anything that you're on, DSPs, YouTube, and also, too, slide on over to nerdysumbrella.com, okay? We're Nerdy's Umbrella everywhere. We have content, we have merch, all of that good old stuff. If you like what you're seeing, hey, thumbs up, let me know in the comments, all that good old stuff. Until next time, I am your host, that guy, the one and only Nerdy G, and I'm out.